Hey everybody, Brandon from n.m.c.b. Now, yeah, as the title says, I went back to Harbor Freight. Of course, I got some stuff from Amazon. I thought I'd do what I occasionally do and share that with you. And what I get, well, be right back. Alright, so everybody knows that I like my Snap-on. I mean, you take a look at my ratchet collection. I really love my Snap-on. Go back in and out of focus. But, yeah, something to be said about Harbor Freight. Now, I'm kind of tough on what I think of some of Harbor Freight stuff. But, tool in hand, I'll put a link up to his channel. He had a video, it was a couple weeks ago, put out, and given his 2 cents on people telling him him and other DIYers, that they should go and purchase Snap-on. Well, I don't think a DIYer needs to go and purchase Snap-on. I mean, if you want something like the aluminum 1.5-ton jack, I got one of those. It works okay. Granted, it's a little old, but it still works okay. Not much for anything on like a 1/2-ton pickup truck or anything like that anymore, but small stuff works all right. Their jack stands, I can't remember if they're 2-ton, 3-ton. I got a couple sets of those because they were like 15 bucks, and they work. So jack stands, and now the one thing that I'll say that, well, the market here over the past few years has definitely widened up for other manufacturers. Harbor Freight's been improving their stuff, even carrying name brand stuff now, channel lock and the like. There's the pump. There's the air compressor. This is what I got to put up with. There we go. All right. You're able to find some things like, well, for instance, like I got this on Amazon. Yeah, focus, you friggin' 1 3/16 1/2-inch drive, crow's foot. Gonna be needing this for the builds. I can't remember if this was like around $10, maybe $14. I'll annotate it down below. This is going to be a specialty tool. Now, compare it to, say, the Snap-on. This big one here is a Snap-on 3/8 drive, 1 1/4. Yeah, that's what you got to work with. All the rest of these are Cornwell. I got a really good deal on those a number of years ago, and they still work really well. So I haven't upgraded to the Snap-ons, but the one that I do have is 1 1/4. There again, specialty use. Wanted it in the 3/8 drive for torque wrench purposes. This, well, being it's real thick, I might have to modify it. I don't know yet, or I got an adapter I can use that'll work just fine. If I got to modify it, I only got to modify, you know, $10 or $15 tool. If I don't have to modify it, great. But yeah, she's beefy. Some things, yes, I know I'm going on about Harbor Freight here. Snap-on, Craftsman USA, that's 1 1/8. This is 1 1/16. I think it was from Harbor Freight, no namer, nada. From a long time ago. I don't use 1 1/16 all that much anymore. Oh, made in China, so probably. Used to use 1 1/16 for air fitting on the primary air tank on the Columbias. That's on the passenger side underneath when I was doing clutches. One day, don't know how, we kept the shop locked. I had everything in steel tubs underneath where I was working at. My Craftsman 1 1/16 somehow walked off. Not this shop, it was a different shop. So, backup. And as often as I have to use it, what the hell is up with this thing? It's worked all right. So, the Craftsman still holding up. The snap-on takes a leak. That takes a licking and keeps on ticking. There you go. Is what it is. Another great wrench brand, is right block. But anyways, where I was getting at, sometimes you need one specialty tool that you don't want to buy a whole set of. You buy the singular ones. Harbor Freight, you know, there's another story. You know, maybe you got a onesie-twosie thing. You go to Harbor Freight, you get it, and then it either sits on the shelf, give it to your buddy, sell it, whatever. It works out. But I think his point is I don't go around telling people they need to buy a Snap-on. I tell people if they're starting out, you go into a shop with a Harbor Freight toolbox, or if you're apprenticing and you show up with a 5-drawer tool cart with some Harbor Freight tools, it's something to get you started. And it's not going to kill your bank either. This $75 socket, but I use a living crap out of it. So there's that. So my premise on Harbor Freight, everybody's got their gems. And speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and actually get into what the hell I bought. Oh, I'll grab that later. But first things are these 5-piece focus, you friggin'. Ta-da! The high-speed steel bits. Now what I use these for, aha. Now what I use these for is I make ferro rods out of these, like you see here. I primarily for my outdoor channel. The last two were for giveaways, one for a fundraiser, one for a friend, and got all those put together. But these things, they're like $4 and change, just shy of $5, and they come with everything you need. You can make 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 good ferro rod strikers out of these things, and they'll last forever. So there's those. They come in handy. Next thing I picked up at Harbor Freight, Chicago Electric 2-piece buffer with buffing compound. There again, another $4 and change purchase. Kind of bought it on a, it's either going to work or it's not. I got a few things I want to polish up. So either the compound's going to work really good and the wheels, the buffing wheels might not, vice versa, or they both might really work well, or they both might eat shit. I don't know yet. I'll give you an update on these, see if they're worth it. Because otherwise, a kit like this from a more reputable, better industrially made competitor to this, probably run you about 20 bucks. So I figure $5, it's worth the try. It's either going to work or it's not. So, well, as I just showed you, Amazon picked up my 1 1/4 fat frickin', yeah, so that's for the AR builds. And then I've already been putting it through its paces here the past couple days since I got it in. 4-pounder from Wilton. It's the unbreakable 12-inch handle. We had their 10-pounders on, well, this is their new head design, and I know why they kind of went with the new design. This one had a sticker or a tag wrapped with it that said made in Mexico. Nothing wrong with that. Wilton's a good company. I really like their products. Steel plant, that's all we would carry for sledgehammers was the Wilton's, full size on down. The square heads, this one's round, but she's working so far. The hell. Ugh. So, giving this a whirl. The handles are pretty much unbreakable. The only time we had was a regular 8-pound sledgehammer. 24-inch handle was left on the flatbed of a semi, and they landed, well, it was probably 20 or 20 some odd thousand pounds. Yeah, about 20,000 pounds of 40-foot I-beams onto one. That one got jacked up pretty bad. But outside of that, yeah, we'll take it. So coming around to the round design, I did like the square heads a little better, but after using this one, it had a clear coat on it. The clear coat's all jacked up now from doing front end work yesterday on replacing the front suspension on one of the tractors. But paint coating, it's kind of holding on, kind of, yeah, so, well, I can always repaint it. But there you have it, guys. A little bit of theory. My theory behind Harbor Freight for what I do in the shop. Some things gonna come in handy, other things not so much. Y'all know how I really like my 1/2-inch drive to 3/4 drive impact adapter. I like that. You know how I feel about their other adapters. But yeah, occasionally, DIYer's paradise, go for it. Either works for you or it doesn't. It either makes you happy or it doesn't. Those things you got to kind of go along with. Works for you, go for it. Makes you happy, go for it. These things work for me, and yeah, it's pink, it's sexy. But I'm not a DIYer. I kind of do this full time. There's a little bit of a difference there, but makes you guys feel any happier? This toolbox contains the most tools in the shop. But there's also a little bit of time involved with that, and pocketbook change. I got a Menards toolbox at home, but when I first started working here, it was too big. We just didn't have the space when you had 25 feet of snap-on against this wall. Anyways, there's the pump again. I'm gonna go home, crack a cold one, and the air compressor. Wow. Anyways, guys, y'all take care, have fun. Remember, shop safety is just as important as firearm safety. You do something, you screw something up, somebody could die, and have a good weekend. Take care.